something to show you here in just a moment. And what we have is a draft on Cursed Hollow for this Pro Division match between Miasma eSports on the blue team and the Bumbling Bees on the red. We're a bit behind bringing everybody up to speed real quick. We have some quick bans on Zagara and Falstad, both very strong presences on the map, can certainly navigate around from far off lanes to curse tributes, no matter where they happen to spawn, even if they're close or far away. So certainly a big priority for a lot of teams on this map in particular. Li Ming, the first pickup for Miasma eSports, representing a whole bunch of damage, whole lot of poke, whole lot of delay, just to keep that fight going as long as we can. So might see Miasma go for some sort of long soak opportunity, trying to drag out those fights as much as possible to get as much benefit from those tributes as they can. Bumbling Bees pick up a Lenara for their first pick. It's kind of a pick you don't see a whole lot straight out of the gates, but certainly can have a lot of damage, can provide a lot of vision, and just a whole lot of tools that provide for a really strong package on this map. You don't see a lot of Lenara, and I think that's a shame, because I think she's fairly strong, particularly with the mount change. Means that her small speed boost is even more relevant, and that mounted heroes are less apt to catch her. Sonya's going to be the other pickup for Bumbling Bees, big, strong frontline damage sphere to sort of clog up the point and discourage anybody from pursuing Lenara or anybody else on the Bumbling Bees team. RAL is going to be the supportive choice for Miasma eSports, so a good dose of wave clear to just scoop on top of that team, and clearly having a plan, picking up their support in their first half of the draft here, going into their stoppage time, trying to figure out what they need to pick up next, because it's going to be an awful long time before they get another crack at this with bans and Bumbling Bees' next pick ahead of them. Sylvanas to pick up, fairly late and fortunate Sylvanas pickup for Miasma eSports. That might kind of lend into that long poke, long delay plan they have to make the fight go as long as possible. I would expect Sylvanas, if she's far away from the tribute, to just not be there to say, you know what, you guys got this, I don't like you anyway, you all smell, you have pulses, and nobody likes those. ETC is going to be the pickup or the ban rather, from Bumbling Bees, not wanting to give them any sort of big target for any sort of incoming arrows or sweeps from Ariel, orbs from Li Ming. I mean, Miasma eSports hasn't picked up a whole bunch of front lines yet, but they may still get another nice dose of damage there too, and ETC would have certainly enabled that had they gotten the pickup. Next ban coming out from Miasma eSports, you might see them ban out a support here, and that is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to take away another big global presence in the form of Brightwing. Someone who can arrive at the fight in the nick of time and just get that last wave of experience, something that has been a fairly popular pick in Quick Match and Hero League, even down in the lowly dregs of gold where I reside. By the way, I don't know if I introduced you myself so far. My name's Terrace Baz, and I'm happy to bring you this match here today. Bumbling Bees are going to not pick up Brightwing. Instead, they're going to pick up Rhaegar, going in for the whole plan of we're going to occupy this point and no one's going to say no to us otherwise. Rhaegar, a force to be reckoned with in terms of keeping Sonya alive for sure. And catching some escaping people out as well. That slow totem can help secure some kills for Lenara to pursuit and unload a bunch of damage on, so possibility there. And Bumbling Bees have a lot of room to go here. They can pick up, I mean, they've got some of the most basic needs on their team filled, so now they get a chance to specialize, and this pick kind of shows that indeed just occupying territory is going to be the name of the game, as Johanna is their fourth pickup, arguably the most resilient hero in the whole game, depending on who you talk to and depending on what your priorities are. And so that's going to be what they're hoping to do. They're going to try and push out the poke force of Miasma eSports as quickly and efficiently as possible, and The course of this game may just depend on how well Bumbling Bees can do that. How effectively can they discourage the poke? And Thrall's going to be that first large problem that Bumbling Bees are going to have to send away. And Thrall's not one discouraged very easily. He's angry. He's had lots of enemies, lots of foes, and he's not here to take anyone's guff. Miasma eSports with plenty of time left on their clock to figure out how to round out their team. Still missing a big warrior, and Muradin's going to fill that role just for them quite nicely. Additionally, worth noting, even more poke. All 5 heroes on Miasma eSports can poke, can delay, can drag out. I mean, some can do it more efficiently than others, certainly, but if that's their intent and they don't want to get in there to the damage swarm of the Bumbling Bees, then that's certainly within their prerogative to do so. Bumbling Bees, 40 seconds left in stoppage, trying to figure out how to round this team out. Wouldn't be surprised if they went for a small, no other dose of damage, maybe some weird off pick in the form of a specialist, something kind of kooky, but it's really this team is a fairly good foundation for whatever decorative window dressings you want to put on top of it. It's not solely dated to something, and they're gonna go with occupying territory even more. Jaina just locking up any ground that they wish to secure and hold. So Bumbling Bees definitely will have their choice on the map or location for at least a few seconds before the other team decides to intervene. We will be queuing up here in just a moment, and we'll bring you action here soon. So I really wonder about this, because I'll admit that I'm kind of talking a bit above my level here. I play in the hellmouth of Division 3, so it's truly a treat for myself to get to see some top level play from both teams like this. Miasma eSports, no stranger to the Pro Division and Chair League, been here since Season 2. Bumbling Bees recently promoted from Division 1 last season, so happy to welcome them to top tier play in Chair League. So hopefully this will be a good match between the grizzled veteran of Miasma eSports and the up and coming newcomers from the Bumbling Bees. Still waiting for one member. Waiting for the Sonya player on Bumbling Bees to hop in, and there she is. So we are all set. We are firing and loading in to Cursed Hollow, round 1 of some Pro Division action. And we are loaded into Cursed Hollow. On the red team for the Bumbling Bees, we've got Chow Chow driving Rhaegar, Phenomenon on Jaina, Cling Sauce on Lenara, Paranormalcy on Sonya, and Tony Cheese on Johanna. And for Miasma eSports on the blue team, we've got a Ruby Z on Thrall, Axe Maxta on Ariel, Fox on Leeming, Swollen on Muradin, and Tantro on Sylvanas. Teams are gathering together at the gates, falling here imminently, and as the gates fall, both teams race forward to Destiny in the middle of the map. In some form or another. Bumbling Bee's taking a bit of a weird route here, trying to set up some sort of ambush deep in the jungle on the north half of the map, and it seems that plenty of people on Miasma eSports are aware of what's happening. A nice discouraging orb to drive out paranormalcy. And so we see no real collision here in the middle. Got the first tiny little engagement here in the middle with Muradin trying to hold off the 4-ball of the Bumbling Bees. In the bottom lane, we've got Tony Cheese on Johanna against Ruby's Thrall. They'll wail on each other for quite a bit, and the action's probably going to be here between top and mid, as Miasma eSports gets a great deal of damage on the top structures for Bumbling Bees. Those Sylvanas and Leeming just being able to just unload damage on some of those buildings, especially with those little bit of time uncontested. And that seems to be the MO for Miasma eSports, just trying to drill down these buildings as quickly and efficiently as possible. And it seems like they're going to be fairly successful at that, taking out the buildings, taking out the front wall completely with no real loss of resources. All their heroes at fairly high health, no huge mana loss on Sylvanas or Li Ming. But here comes the ambush team from Bumbling Bees, and I don't think they're going to be in a great position to get the pick here on Ariel, but Lenara and Jaina do fairly well trying to do that, but they're gonna have to be on the back foot here in just a sec as Ariel quickly recovers, bringing their team back to full power. Meanwhile, here in the bottom, Muradin and Johanna are gonna essentially do 0 damage to each other all the time, but they will be collecting that much needed experience as we go into the first tribute here in about 30 seconds or so. And at the bottom lane, not a whole bunch of damage to speak of. A bunch of ammo from that first tower is defeated. Sonya dropping kind of low. She is going to have to tap that fountain to bring back her health pool for this fight. Sylvanas picks up the siege camp in the top, and they're really putting a lot of pressure here on that top fort as the tribute spawns in the bottom. Sonya forced out, and having already tapped, it's going to be hard for her to really re-engage. If Bumbling Bees are going to get this tribute, they're going to have to get it fairly quickly, and Miasma eSports arriving in essentially just in time in order to put enough pressure here, and this is exactly what they were trying to do. Although picking up a takedown on Lenara certainly is going to make their job a whole lot easier, and also getting Lenara too. Jaina falls, and so a 3-for-0 so far on the side of Miasma eSports, but nothing quite yet, and it's going to be a 4-for-0, and Tony Cheese flickers there for a little bit, but it seems like he's back in game, and the only survivor, he's going to have to hearth away. And so a very decisive start from Miasma eSports. They get a 4-for-0, a full level advantage, the first tribute, and all the while that top siege camp just chunking out a little bit of damage. This top fort's probably going to lose just about his first third of health. Still fairly far from falling, but certainly damage that Bumbling Bees can't really afford here in the early game, especially down a level. And so with that said and done, the damage train rolls into the station in the bottom lane, given the same treatment here than the bottom that we saw on the top. It's clearly a strategy they came into this game with, knowing how they were going to operate these heroes. So good teamwork from Miasma eSports, knowing how to exert the maximum amount of pressure on this map that they could with the heroes available. And Tony Cheese and Chow Chow just desperately trying to keep them out, trying to eliminate that wave so they'll be in some kind of position to defend this. But a ton of damage going out, and Rhaegar's mana pool is not limitless. He's fortunately still going to have quite a bit in order to deal with this tribute here in the top. Meanwhile, no other real action to speak of. Bumbling Bees doing a good job equalizing at level 7 talents before the tribute spawns. Nobody in position to claim it immediately, and it's going to be a A bit of a cluster on the way in as both teams kind of funneling in through checkpoints. Muradin taking a fair bit of damage up front. Hilltail Pool's fallen, but he should be in prime position to escape. Unlike Johanna, who hops Iron Skin, and that's barely going to be enough to keep her alive. A lot of damage trading around the tribute. Johanna very low, Sonya very low, Jaina very low, Chow Chow starting to fall as well. And Bumbling Bees just don't have the staying power to keep this fight up. A big orb almost takes out Lenara. The Bumbling Bees will escape without casualties, and the second tribute's going to go to Miasma eSports. And see just another planned rotation from Miasma eSports. The damage train seeming like they're going to park in here in the mid, but maybe not so much. Maybe they're going to go pick up some some camps instead. Try to continue to exert pressure on the map to keep Bumbling Bees on the back foot. And so far, Bumbling Bees haven't been able to really force an engagement. They haven't been able to start the fight they wanted to start with all that single point staying power that they have. Sonya here might be in a bit of trouble. Li Ming coming out from behind to unload damage onto her. Root's going to keep her in harm's way as her health drops critically low, as Thrall Li Ming will be able to take her out and secure the takedown. And will almost be at level 10, should surely be there by the time the next tribute spawns. Jaina taking a very aggressive approach, getting right there in Thrall's face. And Jaina, not known for her melee prowess, does fall to Thrall. Tribute's going to spawn at the bottom. This is Curse Point for Miasma eSports, and they're in a commanding position to take this. They're 5-on-4 on the map. They've got their heroics, and there's not really a whole lot Bumbling Bees can do in order to stop this, but that's not going to stop Johanna from just desperately trying to delay as much as possible. And she will do so long enough for Sonya to arrive. And so they managed to hold on and delay and at least let the rest of their team get into position on the map, so they can defend this curse. Bit of a sneaky trap here coming. Muradin coming from behind the wall in mid to try and stun out somebody into the damage of Thrall and Li Ming. And it looks like Lenara is going to be the target as the damage explosion just goes off directly in her face. And that's going to be a fast takedown for Miasma eSports. They're 7th of the match. And so they decided the ball's just going to go straight down the mid lane, and they're not even going to... This is a clever tactic. They're not finishing off the front wall or not finishing off the fort. They're going to let the minions do that for them. And under the cover of the curse, they're going to unload as much damage as they can onto the wall, guarding the keep in mid, and trying to secure that as well. And that's a very disciplined play from Miasma eSports. You know, knowing that they don't need to, wail on the building themselves to get that experience, to get that structure damage. It's already happened. They just have to let it occur. They can turn their attention elsewhere. Meanwhile, in the other lanes, all the forts are fallen. Keeps fairly well defended in every other lane. And so what do you do after a curse? Well, you go get the boss. That's what happens, and that's where we see Miasma eSports think about going, but a bit of a reconsideration as looks like they may be trying to force a big engagement here. They have level 13 talent advantage against Bumbling Bees 11, and here they come. I don't know if Bumbling Bees were aware that there they are, but they certainly are now. Damage explosion comes out on Sonya. Big Ancestral's going to keep her alive, but she's going the wrong way to help out her team, and here she comes back. Lenara's going to fall from an awful punishing boss push. Jaina falls as the trickling beams of disintegration come in, and still no takedowns on the side of Miasma eSports. The boss at critical health, and they will get the steal. Possibly more than that. Chow Chow trying to hearth out as fast as possible, but he's going to be caught out in the way. And so is Sonya, the last man standing Johanna. Tony just trying to get out, and it's a full team wipe in favor of Miasma eSports, barreling down in the top lane. Boss bringing up the rear to support, and if Bumbling Bees have a decisive trick, have a way to hold on to this, now's going to be the time. But losing Jaina is certainly not the start they want for that. And so this keep is certainly doomed. There's definitely no way this is going to be held. And so the 4 members of Bumbling Bees have to come up with a hard stop here. If they manage to hold on long enough, Jaina's Ring of Frost is going to be up in about 10 seconds. Sonya is going to escape with a sliver of life. Jaina's on the board. Ring's up in 3 seconds. Will she be able to fire it off? Looks like she's desperately trying. Can't quite get a good position on it. Fires it off, manages to get murdered in their first takedown of the game at the expense of Sonya, so it's a 1-for-1 so far. Meanwhile, the boss just continuing to punish the core. There should be enough minions here to finish off the boss. And so Miasma eSports won't be able to get the quick win here. Oh, a nice sundering to finish off an overly eager Jaina there in the top. Ariel escapes with a sliver of health, so a huge bloodbath here in the top lane. And Bumbling Bees threatened to turn it around. They got a couple takedowns. Thanks, announcer, for letting us know that that takedown occurred ages ago. And so far, this looks fairly grim for Bumbling Bees. They're going to keep having to worry about top pressure from their catapults in that top lane. They're still down 2 levels. Jaina's still back at home trying to clean that up. So effectively, they're at a man disadvantage while that occurs, and they're never going to be able to go far from that. So the options are to play a very safe, very defensive game and wait for Miasma eSports to make a mistake, which they haven't showed signs of doing so far, or to take a big gamble and just go all in on one last offensive move, hoping that you can secure some very large-scale damage from this. But that's going to be a tall order as Miasma eSports applies a lot of pressure down to the bottom lane as they have their own boss marching down in harm's way. Big damage coming out from Johanna. Help is on the way, but it's going to be a bit far. She may be able to get back. Iron Skin is going to keep her safe for the moment. She is going to get back to the safety of her towers. Curse spawning in top, but Bumbling Bees not in really any position to go take it. As they have a boss walking up through the bottom lane. It's going to take a lot of attention to take down. So Sonya's... Actually, I take that back. Sonya's going to run up and try and pick up this tribute. Just to... Thinking long term that they have to do something in order to win this. Brawl didn't fall. I don't know what's going on there. And so far, the mid, or rather, the bottom keep is going to fall. So far, no takedowns yet. Sonya Hart's back to make this 5-on-5 again. Ring of Frost doesn't manage to catch anyone. Sundering's going to knock 3 people away. Ancestral's going to go off on Lenora, but maybe that wasn't the target as Rhaegar and Jaina both fall. Johanna not long after, so it's a 5-on-2, and Sonya's just swirling for dear life, and she's going to be taken out as well. Lenora, the lone stalwart against this overwhelming force of Miasma eSports, and they're going to take round 1. So clearly a very organized match from Miasma eSports. They definitely had a plan going into that, and they were able to execute it. So good, very quick match, and we'll go ahead and hop into round 2. That really was just non-stop action just across the map. From rotations through Miasma to that last stand from Bumbling Bees, or rather the second to last stand from the top lane. It looked like maybe they were going to be able to get a foothold, getting those couple takedowns, Rain catching, I forget who it caught, but it definitely secured that one takedown off the go. And so we're just about set up. Miasma eSports locked in, ready to fire off this round 2 match on Infernal Shrines. Bumbling Bees most likely talking strategy here, trying to figure out how they can pull themselves back up and make a stand here on Shrines. There's a fair amount of similarity between Shrines and Cursed Hollow, and then it's a 3-lane map, so global heroes like Falstad, Brightwing, Zagara should be fairly well prioritized. And Bumbling Beans very quick to ban out Sylvanas on this map. They have no interest in seeing the onslaught of damage that Miasma eSports produced last time, and Sylvanas may even be better on this map. Essentially prolonging the life of the Punisher. If it doesn't bleed health like the spiders do on Spider Queen. So if you're going to take a Punisher out, all of its health has to be taken away through attacks. And if Sylvanas can remove some of those attacks, then a Punisher can just unload even more damage over the course of a game. Zool going to be the takeaway from Miasma eSports. Zool's I forget the name of it, but the one where he throws a scythe out can certainly do a lot of damage in small confined areas, like a lot of heroes will expect to be when trying to take up the minions and get those Punishers. Bumbling Bees quick to pick up Zagara, and Miasma eSports quick to respond with Kerrigan. Zagara fairly strong in a split push type of sense, especially with the seemingly ever increasing buffs to Nidus Network that make it one of the most fun and active abilities on the map. Kerrigan has essentially a limitless health pool in taking a bath in minions. You can just play hopscotch, leapfrog, bouncing from minion to minion, just constantly restoring health, constantly gaining shields. So Kerrigan, a priority pick on Infernal Shrines for sure. Li Ming proved herself in the last match and has no interest in slowing down, throwing in damage to pick up minions and deliver damage to heroes as well in those small confined areas. Tyrael is a cool pickup from Bumbling Bees, not just so much that it sets up some interesting interactions with some of their future picks, but it takes it away from Kerrigan. Kerrigan standing on Sanctification is just a force that can't be dealt with. There is no way to prevent yourself from dying if you're caught in the middle of that. So it's simultaneously a good benefit and a good takeaway from Bumbling Bees. So I really like to see Tyrael there. And picking up Falstad, so some of that high damage, high mobility that can definitely be a priority in this map. And so far, all of their heroes seeking to stay away from Kerrigan just through evasion, through speed bonuses from Tyrael, through Falstad being fast, and Zagara being far away. So a good plan so far, starting out from Bumbling Bees. Of note, at this point, we'd seen both. No, I take it back. We'd seen Miasma pick up their support in the first 3 picks. And so far, no supports shown except for in the ban section. Brightwing taken away from Bumbling Bees. No interest in having double mobility for Miasma eSports to keep trying to chase down. They say, you know what, 1's good enough, and Zagara's like a 1.5, so that's enough movement for you. You need to stay where you're going to be in this. Boy, okay, just check my microphone, make sure it wasn't muted. It's been a long day, and I've had a couple. Bumbling Bees on their second ban, spending some time on this, trying to think, alright, so we know the map, we kind of know how Miasma likes to play based on one game at least. What do we need to take away? And they're spending a lot of time on this, because this ban may wind up being more significant than the remaining 2 pickups. One of them kind of writes itself. They know it's almost certainly going to be a support. So this ban can help shape the team that Miasma has to craft, and Ariel's going to be the takeaway. Again, Ariel can with her sweeping strike can just unload damage on minions. With Kerrigan just getting in there Where in the Crown of Hope, Ariel should always have health to disperse, so that's a good ban from Bumbling Bees, and I really like to see that. ETC going to be the pickup for Miasma eSports. So far, there's not a whole lot that Bumbling Bees has in the way of interruptions for Mosh Pit. I don't think, other than Mighty Gust, I'm not sure. I'm not a big expert on Tyrael, but I don't think he has any abilities that can positively interact with that other than Sanctification. But trading Ultimate for Ultimate's really shouldn't be the end game here, but that is certainly a tool at their disposal. Miasma eSports dipping into their stoppage time. About 30 some odd seconds left to go. They still need a support of their own, and it looks like they're going to save that for last pick, as Vala is going to be pick number 4. So an extreme damage from Miasma eSports. Kerrigan on the front dishing it out, and just the Charlie's Angel squad. Kerrigan, Leeming, and Vala just blasting through whatever's in front of them. I guess ETC here just stands for Epic Tauren Charlie in that case. Bumbling Bees in their last round of the draft. Regulation time out, dipping into stoppage with 18 seconds to go. We know they're going to get a support. The question's going to be, do they think Tyrael can stave off all of this damage just through evasion, or do they need to grab somebody else? Uther going to be the pickup, and I like this a good bit. It adds a tool to stop ETC's mosh pit. With all the damage they've got, it's likely going to be focused on a single target for efficiency's sake. So if he can be quick on the trigger with the Divine Shield, if he can be quick on the trigger with his Flash Heal, then he may be able to keep his team standing long enough to respond in kind. And Thrall's going to be the other pickup, so they're going to say, you know what, bring on damage, we've got plenty of our own. And so this is going to be an extremely violent match with heroes dying very fast, I predict, on both sides of the map. So this should be just a thrill to watch. Miasma almost certainly picking up a support here. And it's going to be that. Morales is the pickup, so very scary options with Kerrigan and Vala. And it's been true through all levels of heroes. If they can get to Morales, they're going to have a good chance here. So we'll see how that goes about. Yeah, reconfigure some of the stuff here, make it a bit more efficient.
This realm needs me.
So this, with all the damage on both sides of this equation, it's really, it kind of boils down to a few simple questions. How effective is ETC going to be at isolating heroes? How effective is Bumbling Bees going to be at dealing with and getting to Morales without suffering casualties on the way in? Is Tyrael going to be enough to to keep everybody standing? And so that's, I mean, these are all questions we're going to find out the answer to here fairly soon. But I can't see this being anything other than a total bloodbath all the time. Contra on Kerrigan sporting the new Queen of Ghosts skin, the shiny green one. And we are loaded into Infernal Shrines Round 2 of this Chair League Pro Division match. On the side of the Bumbling Bees, trying to fight back from an 0-1 deficit. We have Chow Chow on Uther, Killing Sauce on Zagara, Phenomenon on Thrall, Tony Cheese on Tyrael, and Paranormalcy on Falstad. And representing Miasma eSports, trying to clean this up for a 2-0 victory, we've got Axmaxta on Lieutenant Morales, Tantro on Kerrigan, Swollen on ETC, a Ruby Z on Vala, and Fox on Li Ming. The gates are down, teams are rushing headlong into the maw of hell itself. And it looks like Miasma eSports is going to get there first, trying to get the quick pickup on Zagara, and it looks like they're going to get it. Uther getting a nice heal off to keep Zagara just barely standing, so good trigger figure on Uther just to keep Zagara alive. She will have to tap the fountain, but notably she will escape. That's the first step in not dying, is not dying. So we've got to kind of get a bit of a spread around the map. We got Zagara and Tyrael trying to deal with Kerrigan here in the bottom, and they should do fairly well with that as long as those are the odds. Kerrigan going big on Tyrael, getting the combo off. Tyrael's health dropping fairly low, but he should escape to safety fairly well. Meanwhile, no huge action so far. You see Falstad being very safe there on the map, staying extremely close to his gate, not knowing where the other team's going to be. So it looks like we're going to see a rotation from Miasma between mid and bottom, picking up those XP waves. Morales doing a good job clearing up Zagara's creep. That vision and potential Nidus network later in the game is certainly something that, if not managed kind of throughout, can kind of get out of control. Meanwhile, up in the top, it looks like Thrall's actually doing fairly well here, getting a couple shots out of the towers, but mostly being at parity with Vala here in the top lane. Shrine's going to spawn at bottom, and looks like Killing Sauce is going to have a fair bit of creep here to get some vision on it. But Vala is going to fall here in the top, so nice job on Thrall getting the takedown. Is going to deny Vala the opportunity to soak up that experience, and is going to give Bumbling Bees a very favorable engagement here in the bottom if he gets there in time. But Uther is going to manage to escape to safety, and so far it looks like Bumbling Bees are in command of the point. Miasma eSports trying to find another way in. So a huge amount of damage coming out on Tantro, but Morales doing just a wonderful job keeping them up. That's going to be a problem that Bumbling Bees are going to have, especially here in the early game when they can't reach out and go get somebody. And so far, Bumbling Bees up 25-6, but Tyrael falling critically low on health. He's going to have to bail out. Don't know if the fountain's up for him yet. Vala has returned to the fight, so it's an engagement on even terms, but so many members of the Bees at low health, and Miasma eSports starting to clean up this shrine. Bumbling Bees back for more, trying to get in an engagement. Uther is going to fall, so he's going to be able to unload health for his team fairly quickly. Morales is going to go down well, and that's the takedown they needed. That sustain is just insurmountable if you don't have some sort of high explosive damage. ETC falling fairly low of health, has to power slide out of there. So far 33-32. This is extremely close. 36 both sides. Kerrigan's going to fall down. So another takedown for Bumbling Bees as they're one minion short, and they will secure the first Punisher, which is got to give them just incredible confidence going into this round 2. So Frozen Punisher not quite what they were hoping for, but it's going to unload tons of damage on Morales so they could just get back there. But Morales' shield is going to bring her back up to fairly high health total before she's in any sort of severe peril. So either good fortune or good luck on Morales being able to survive that. And so Punisher does, I guess, the expected amount of damage. It blasts through the front wall. Manages to get some damage on the fort, but isn't going to quite take it off. Meanwhile, during that whole engagement, Zagara up in the top lane trying to get a further experience advantage for her team is going to start establishing a creep pattern up in the top lane. And between the structures falling and Zagara's working the top. They are going to be a half-level lead, Bumbling Bees are. And so here's Falstad kind of caught out in trouble here. Is he going to be able to get away from this? He's got support from his teammates, but he's got a lot of damage coming out from Vala as well, and she is going to secure the takedown. So that was a bit of an unfortunate find for the Bumbling Bees. Falstad kind of out of position there, dealing with the full brunt of Miasma's damage train. Minus Ming. And so things kind of settle down. We've got Uther and ETC just trading pot shots here in mid. No huge outcome from there. Morales and Kerrigan picking up their siege camp here in the bottom. They're doing that with fairly little contestation. And Bumbling Bees, despite that very strong and aggressive start, have kind of surrendered the experience advantage and are just a sliver of XP ahead. So they'll be going into this next fight at fairly even tiers. Kerrigan here quite a bit far forward, and she's going to suffer a ton of damage and go down herself. ETC and Morales in full retreat under the cover of Vala's Arrow Storm. And all that damage on ETC is just not going to really amount to anything. But do what you can, right? You don't not attack, so that's kind of how things go. Shrine is active in the top. It's going to be a Mortar Punisher. And both teams just kind of far away from it. Not really in a good position to take at the moment. Zagara first to the scene. Not a whole lot to worry about except for those 3 heroes from Miasma eSports. ETC sliding in there and just pinballing her around the top shrine. She is going to escape, though, with Uther and Thrall here for the backup. Falstad arrives just in time, and it's a full 5-on-5 fight with Zagara at just critical health. She needs to... if she can't tap, she may need to consider hearthing and just getting a full complement of hit points, because she can't commit that many of Uther's resources. Those cooldowns are not short. Tony Cheese escorting his team back to safety, trying to guarantee nobody dies from this extreme damage wave of Miasma eSports, but they do manage to endure it. Meanwhile, Kerrigan picking up just minions one at a time, just bouncing from one to one to the other, just having a grand old time. And so that is going to be a fairly straightforward pickup from Miasma eSports, getting Mortar Punisher here in the top lane. Both teams on the cusp of level 10. Bumbling Bees will possibly achieve it first, depending on how the structure damage goes. ETC getting in there hard. Heroics are available for Bumbling Bees if they can select and use him. Tyrael at critical health. He is going to fall, and that's not going to be quite enough damage to get any on his side. Falstad sees the writing on the wall and says, you know what? This is a fight we cannot win. I'm going to go get some more experience to make sure we don't fall behind in this. So fairly good insight on his part. And Bumbling Bees will lose the top keep, but will mitigate any further damage and probably secure a takedown here on Vala. Sundering with the takedown. So good punish there from Thrall. Not much mana left, but just enough to secure that takedown. So still at fairly close to parity here. Miasma eSports, through all that, has a slight experience lead. Haven't lost a fort yet, but this one in bottom is pretty close to death's door, so that's should be takeable at any point in the future. So both teams go back home, lick their wounds, heal back up, and start taking camps to apply some pressures elsewhere on the map. Bumbling Bees looking to finish off that fort they started here in the early game. And Miasma eSports willing to give them a chance to do so. Bumbling Bees rotate down to take out the bottom siege camp. Miasma eSports smells this is what's coming. They're going to arrive not in time to stop the camp, but in time just to get off a mosh pit, which is going to doom Falstad. A nice Sanctification is actually going to save her. ETC is just going to eat damage for breakfast. Uther's going to fall, so will ETC, so it's a 1-for-1 so far, but Falstad will wind up falling as well. Tyrael in a bad spot here, running further into danger, but is in true fashion, his sacrifice may be the thing that keeps his teammates alive, as Thrall and Zagara do manage to escape to safety through that. So 3 for 1 in favor of Miasma eSports. And they do manage to prevent the camp from doing any damage at all. So this is going to leave them in a very strong position. The things to note, Li Ming here with no mana is going to Hearth back. She's really not going to be able to provide any sort of benefit at the shrine without spell energy to work with. So realizing that, she's going to go collect some more. And so Bumbling Bees straggling in, not quite spawning in time to pick it up. Just trying to poke what they can until the full complement of their team arrives, and here they are. Huge damage and a nice Sundering coming out to delay any kind of interruptions from ETC, but a wonderful strafe from Vala just rips apart Bumbling Bees. That Gust just not there in time to save their lives, and Falstad will secure the kill on Kerrigan, but not without cost of his own life. Tyrael's going to fall as well. Can he get the kill on Morales? That explosion is not quite going to be enough. So it's going to be a 5 for 1 in favor of Miasma eSports. They're going to take this shrine completely uncontested from this point on. And this is excellent presence of mind from Miasma eSports. With 39 minions, just one more to go. They're looking to just take down whatever damage they can get for free. They've got this shrine totally in their pocket. They can pick it up at any time they want. So they're going to use this opportunity while Bumbling Bees are off of the map to push lanes, to secure objectives, to keep Bumbling Bees guessing where the hammer's going to fall, when the hammer's going to fall. And it's going to fall right now. An Arcane Punisher drilling up through the bottom. Bumbling Bees in position to largely deal with this. Falstad and Zagara up at the top, trying to get a camp to apply some pressure somewhere so they can get an offensive foothold back in the game. Notably, Zagara does have Devouring Maw here, so if they can sort of stack some abilities, get a Maw into a Sunder, they can really keep a lot of that damage from Miasma eSports offline, but it's going to take a fair bit of coordination to pull that off. Punisher goes in hard on Tyrael. Cleanse pop to keep him in safe sway. Falstad is gonna take the first fall, so it's 1-0 in favor of Miasma eSports. Punisher at about half health left. Zagara dropping low on health. Is gonna have to start playing it safe. Get a big heal from Uther there. And so the bottom keep is likely going to fall through this. The question is does Miasma eSports feel like they can win the game from here? And it does seem like they're interested in that. They say, you know what, we've got a 3-level advantage and a full talent tier. We don't need to risk it. What we're going to do is we're going to clean up your healing fountain. We're going to hop in Morales' fancy car and blast off again to safety. And so that's a wise, that's maybe not a wise, that's a thoughtful pickup from Morales. With a Kerrigan and a Vala on your team, the tempting answer is just to auto take Stim Drone. You can do a ludicrous amount of damage, but I guess the concern is that that they do have Bumbling Bees do have a couple stuns available. So if you stun out the Stim target, maybe you don't get quite the benefit you want. And Stim Drone is a talent you want when you want to make winning the game easier. Medevac is a talent you take when you want to make losing the game harder. So, Miasma eSports, very, very cognizant of that fact. So far, both teams at full power. Level lead's been cut to 2. And Bumbling Bees are roaming around just trying to get a pick on someone, and they've selected ETC as their target of doom. Sundering just going to be just short of being able to take him out, so ETC will escape and be completely patched up by Morales in moments. Falstad making the aggressive forward move. Divine Shield pop to keep him standing, and that's a lot of ultimates gone on the side of that, and a huge medevac saying, you know what, you want to escape? We're not interested in escaping, we're interested in killing. But a massive maw just locking out Miasma eSports. Everybody's so low health, but so far no takedown. But there's the takedown on Morales and Uther, and Li Ming just bowling balls away the Bumbling Bees one by one as it's Thrall and Tyrael left to try and defend this. But it looks like they're going to be at just critical health, and they aren't going to be able to stand for this. Best Tyrael can do is try and get a pick off on somebody else. Not quite, so it's a 5-for-1 in favor of Miasma eSports, all enabled by that aggressive medevac use. I know I said it's the talent you take to avoid losing, but today it's the talent you take to win. You say, you know what, we're tired of doodling around. We're gonna go fight you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so Miasma eSports is gonna take round 2 and the match 2-0. So man, we saw a lot of cool stuff in that match. We saw a good stall from Miasma eSports, getting the minion counter up to 39, waiting until they were really ready to push with the Punisher to make sure they can maximize their damage. But what a tremendous amount of takedowns in only a sub 15-minute match. 25 total kills on the map. There were several team wipes, and I mean, credit to Bumbling Bees. They didn't just fall down. They aggressively stood at that first Punisher. They commanded a lead, and they didn't give anything up. They had the presence of mind to get that last devouring maw out under the medevac and just instantly scoop up 3 members of Miasma eSports. And I really thought that was going to be the pivotal moment of the match, where the maw releases, sundering goes off, and the damage just explodes out into a totally stunned Miasma eSports. But I guess 2 levels up, they weren't able to secure. Bubbling Bees weren't quite able to secure those fast takedowns out of the maw that they needed in order to survive that fight. So an awesome match from both teams. Some really interesting draft choices. I really liked. I like to see that use of medevac. That was certainly not the obvious talent, but I think it really worked out for them. It got them where they needed to go. And although it was kind of risky there at the end, it did ultimately close out the game for them. So well done from both teams. Credit to Miasma eSports and Bumbling Bees for providing some excellent Chair League Heroes action today. But unfortunately, there is only one W, and today that W goes to Miasma eSports. So congratulations to them. My name's been Terraspaz, and I will see y'all on the Nexus. Take care.